Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I wanted to share with you a list of authors that I read for the first time this year. So they are new to me, and I enjoyed their books so much that now I want to read more, whether that is reading their backlist because they have other books that they've published and I haven't read them yet, or if I've already read everything that they have written and I'll be ready next time something else gets published, I'm ready for it, and I'll be looking out for that. So these are authors that are brand new to me as a reader, and I want more from them. All right, first one is Allison Espach. This is The Wedding People. I read this for our book club and absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was a 5-star read for me. And I went into this one very, very blind, not knowing what it was about. And so I really ended up enjoying the story that way. I love the setting. It's set in Rhode Island, where I used to live, and I could picture places that they were. They even featured a restaurant in this book that I ate at with my husband while we were living there. So it was very nostalgic for me in that way as well. And I loved her writing. I loved how she unfolded the story of what was going on. And there were flashbacks as well, and those were done really well. And I really enjoyed it a lot. She has 2 other books currently out, so those are going to be ones that I'm going to be adding to my wish list and seeing about picking those up. The next one I have is Lana Ferguson, and I read The Nanny and loved it. And this was one of my bigger surprises of the year as far as how much I loved it. It was fun, it was funny, it was very sexy, very spicy on this one. And I just thought it was done really, really well. I was very invested in the characters and their story and what was happening. And this is definitely, there was some miscommunication in this one as far as they just weren't talking enough at times. And, sometimes she would know something that he didn't know and he would know something she didn't know. So there is that in here, but I enjoyed the story enough that didn't bother me, because that can sometimes be something that bothers me if it's too overdone. And I really liked it a lot. Now, I have 2 other of her releases that are currently out on my shelves already. Haven't read them yet, but she also has one coming out in December that I'm very excited about. And then she has one coming out next summer that is on my most anticipated list as well. So definitely want to get more into Lana Ferguson. Now, this one is her debut novel. She does have more books that have come out since this one. I have one of them on my shelves, which is actually a paranormal, and it's a werewolf romance. She also has a sports romance that is out currently. I don't have that one on my shelves yet, but it is on my wish list. And then she has one coming out in December, which is another paranormal. It's a Loch Ness Monster. I'm very excited for that one. And then she does have another one coming out that's a contemporary romance that is going to be next summer, and I'm going to have my eye on that one as well. That'll be on my most anticipated list. So she definitely has some for me to dive into now, and then some coming up as well, but she's definitely one that I want to get more into her work. Another one I have here is Nadia Hashimi. I read Sparks Like Stars earlier this year and absolutely loved it. This will be on my favorites of the year without a doubt. This book was beautiful. The writing was beautiful. Oh my goodness. I absolutely loved it. This one is very atmospheric. It is set both in the United States, but also mostly in Afghanistan. And it is based on an actual true event that happened with the Afghanistan government in the 1970s. And you're getting flashbacks because our main character in here was directly affected by what happened. And so she is battling some older demons with that and with some memories, and decides to go back to Afghanistan to see if she can salvage any of her memories or, anything that's happening, and see if she can get to the root of what really happened with her family when they were there. And it was just beautiful. Like, the writing was so atmospheric. I felt like I was there. It kind of reminded me, if you like Khaled Hosseini, who wrote The Kite Runner and a couple of other books, if you like those books, I think you should pick her up and see, because it very much gave me that same feeling when I was reading this one as when I was reading those books, and I loved those books. And so she's definitely an author I want more from. There is more for me, definitely. I did buy a couple of her books that have been out for a while. She also does have some middle grade books. I may consider picking those up at some time. And then I know she has a YA book, I think, coming out either very soon, if it's not out already. I haven't double checked the date on when her YA book comes out, but there is a YA option as well. So that may be something I look into along with other things. So she's writing across different age ranges, which I really like. But yeah, love this one. All right, so Linda Holmes is another one. I listened to Effie Drake Starts Over, and I absolutely love this book. So this is definitely an adult romance, and not adult as in spice. There wasn't really anything super spicy in this one. There was a romance, but it wasn't anything open door. But it was adult as in these are adults who are in adult relationships and they treat each other like adults. And there's none of that miscommunication. There's none of, drama that's really just not necessary, or making bad decisions like you would if you were younger. So there's none of that in there. So that's what I liked about this one, because we are dealing with, older adult characters in here. But I absolutely loved it. Now we are dealing with grief in this one, so there is some grief in here. And it was just really, really enjoyable. And I really liked the characters a lot, and I really liked their dynamic. And I thought it was done really well. So I definitely want to read more from Linda Holmes. I do have her second book, Flying Solo, on audio already. And then she does have another one coming out in 2025. And I think I already have an arc of that one on NetGalley. I'm pretty sure I do. So I will definitely be reading more from her. Okay, another one here is John Scalzi. I have heard about John Scalzi. I've known who he is for a while. I know he wrote the Old Man's War series, which is science fiction is what he writes. And I just had never picked anything up yet. I was very interested, though, based on what I heard. And I ended up picking this one up. And this is the Kaiju Preservation Society. And I loved it. I loved this book. This is kind of Jurassic Park-ish, but with kaiju. And they're not in the public. But it was so entertaining. It was very interesting, and you could feel the danger. You could feel how dangerous these creatures were and what would happen to you if you come into contact with them. But we're following a man who was forced to be in contact with them. And it was brilliant. I loved it. I loved his humor in here, because the humor really helped break up some of the craziness. And I love that. So, kind of along the same lines of Andy Weir, like he puts in some humor in there to help out with the seriousness. But it's still very serious. You still feel how dangerous the situations are. And I just loved it. And now I definitely want to read more. I have a lot of his that I could read. So the only other one that I own on my shelves is Starter Villain, which I just recently picked up. So I do have that one. But I am going to be looking into more of his books and seeing about acquiring some and getting some read. And then he does have one coming out in, I think, March, called When the Moon Hit Your Eye, which I do have an arc of that I just got at New York Comic Con. So that one I will definitely be reading here very soon as well. But yeah, so definitely more of him. One author that I don't have the book that I read from her, but that is Jessie Q Tanto. And I read You Will Never Be Me. I read this on my Kindle because I had a NetGalley version of it, and I absolutely loved it. It was a complete 5-star. It was such a surprise on how much I loved that one. This one deals with an influencer. And all that goes into that. And things happen. And that's all I'm going to say. I mean, you want drama? That is a good one for like just some real juicy drama and things that are happening. And you kind of have a holy crap, what's going on type thing throughout the book as well. And it was very, very good. I really liked her writing. I really liked her characters. And I definitely want to read more. Now, she is another author that has different age ranges that you can read from. And I have a lot that I can choose from. So she definitely has thrillers, which I'm interested in, adult thrillers. She has kind of a cozy adult series as well, which is the Aunties series. Dial A for Aunties is the first one. So she wrote that. And then she also wrote Vera Wong, which I'm very interested in reading as well. And that one I do have on my shelves. And then she does have some young adult mystery thrillers as well that I could definitely dip my toes into to see if I like that age range of her writing. And then I do believe there is one coming out soon that she wrote that is based on Mulan, I think. I'll have the cover up here. I've seen the cover of it, but I think it's a Mulan retelling type thing that she's jumping into. So, yeah, but I'm going to keep my eye out. I definitely want to read more from her for sure. And that will definitely be happening. And then last, but certainly not least, is ML Rio. I read If We Were Villains and loved it. This will definitely be on my favorites of the year as well. This is probably, is it my favorite Dark Academia book? Maybe. I just thoroughly enjoyed reading this book. I thought the writing was brilliant. I thought the concept was brilliant. And I just absolutely loved it. Now, I have read everything she's written already, though, because she has this book, this full-length novel. This was her debut. She had a short story that was part of an anthology collection, which I actually checked that out from my library and just read her chapter. That's all I really needed. That one was just okay. I'm not big on short stories anyway, so there's that. And then I read Graveyard Shift, which came out this year, which is a novella. And that one for me was also kind of just okay. I did give it 3 stars. I wrapped that up in my October wrap up, but it was fine. But full-length novels, like I need more from her. I'm hearing rumors of something maybe coming out next year, but no official announcements or anything yet. Okay, guys, so editing Sarah here. Since I filmed this video, they did announce that Hot Wax will be coming out in September of 2025. So that is definitely going to be on my most anticipated list for September. Okay, guys, those are some new to me authors that I really want to read more from, and I'm very excited. And all of them have things that I can pick up, except for ML Rio, and I'm just going to be on the lookout for that one. But everyone else does, so I'm very excited to pick some more of their works up and see what I think. Let me know down below if you guys have any new to you authors that you read this year that you now want more from, or any of these authors on that list. Let me know, and I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day.